You know, honey, there are some days in your life that carve themselves so deep into your heart, you can still feel the ache 50 years later. Today, I'm going to tell you about one of those days, the day I buried my mama and the day I finally stood up to the man who was supposed to protect me. I'm Martha. I'm 73 now, sitting here in my little kitchen in Ohio with my cat whiskers purring on my lap. My grandkids think I'm just a sweet old lady who bakes too many cookies and watches too much Jeopardy. But let me tell you, this grandma's got a story that'll make your blood boil and your heart sing all at once. It was January of 1978. I was 25 years old, married to my college sweetheart Danny, and we had just brought our first baby, my daughter Sarah, into the world 3 months earlier. Life should have been beautiful, but then Mama got sick, cancer. It took her fast, 6 months from diagnosis to goodbye. I spent every day I could at her bedside in that sterile hospital room that smelled like disinfectant and despair. She held my hand and told me stories about her own mama, about resilience, about how women in our family were made of steel wrapped in silk. "Martha Jean," she whispered to me the night before she passed, "don't you ever let anyone make you feel small, not even your daddy." I didn't understand what she meant. Not then. The funeral was held at St. Michael's Church on a bitter cold Saturday. Snow was piled high along Main Street, and the wind cut right through your coat. I remember standing in the church basement afterward, holding baby Sarah against my chest, accepting casseroles and condolences from neighbors I barely recognized through my tears. My father, Mama always called F the community. But I had Mama's journals, and in those journals she documented everything, his affairs, his gambling, the times he'd borrowed, money from her teaching salary and never paid it back, the emotional abuse. 2 months after the funeral, I anonymously sent copies of certain pages to the deacon board at his church, to his poker buddies, to the VFW post where he played Big Shot every Friday night. I didn't need to do anything else. The truth did the work. Within 6 months, Daddy had moved to Florida, tail between his legs. I heard through my brother that he barely spoke to anyone down there, just lived alone in a tiny apartment near the beach. I never felt guilty. Not once. Mama's house became our family home. Danny and I raised 3 kids there. Now my grandkids run through those same rooms, and I tell them stories about their great-grandma, the strong, kind woman who taught me that love isn't just soft words and warm hugs. Sometimes love is fierce. Sometimes it's standing up and saying, "Enough." But here's the thing. Nobody tells you about revenge, sweetheart. It doesn't actually make you feel better. It makes you feel free, and freedom, that's worth more than gold. I got a call last week. Daddy's in hospice now. Stage 4 lung cancer. My brother thinks I should visit. I'm sitting here with my coffee, watching the January snow fall just like it did 47 years ago, and I'm trying to decide. Should I go say goodbye to the man who tried to break me on the worst day of my life? I honestly don't know yet, but I'll tell you this. Whatever I decide, it'll be me choice. Not his. Never his again. What would you do, honey? Would you visit? Would you forgive? Or would you let some people fade away with the consequences they earned? Drop your thoughts below. This old grandma's still learning.